A celebrity spiritualist, the confidant of Oprah Winfrey, and she has her way. She'll also be America's first female president, with many Democrats warning that Joe Biden is simply too old to run again. She wants to outflank him from the left, the more youthful left, you might think, and harness love to defeat Donald Trump. And I'm delighted to say you're here in London and in my studio. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to play you a clip. This is President Biden last week ending a speech about gun violence by completely randomly saying this.
It's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you, I promise. All right, God save the Queen, man.
Okay, well, two things. The Queen died 10 months ago.
She's not our Queen.
Our monarch, yes, not your Queen, and our Queen died 10 months ago. This is the latest thing involving President Biden, where he just said stuff which makes no sense.
Retard.
It's pretty inappropriate, to some people quite offensive. He seems to have forgotten our Queen died last year. And it goes to his mental capability. It's a big issue. I mean, it can't be ignored, I don't think. How do you feel about this?
I think it's for the individual voter to decide. It gets personal, and I don't want to be personal about this.
No, of course
I'm running against
not.
the president on issues. There are many people in his camp who would argue, yes, he makes gaffes like this, but when it comes to his decision-making on issues, he's just fine. Every individual has to decide on that, and I think it's kind of cheap for me to go there.
I mean,
that's because you're too much of a coward to go there, okay? That's why. Oh, my God. Williamson. Marianne Williamson. I'm not going to go there, Piers, because why? She's chicken. Bok, 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 bok. Our president is an idiot. He's a dementiated fool. Simple as that. That's all you got to say. That's it. Simple. That's it. What more do you have to say there, Marianne?
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't be running if I didn't think I'd make a better president.
Right. I want to talk about a couple of issues with you, which are in the news, which you have quite strong views about. One, I want to play you a clip. This is the British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who was heard on a leaked video talking about the big trans debate at the moment.
You may have noticed Ed Davey has been very busy. Like me, you were probably seeing that he was busy trying to convince everybody that women clearly had penises. And I was reflecting, you'll all know, I am a big fan of everybody studying maths to 18. But it turns out that we need to focus on biology to 18.
So this has become a big thing, right? Along with the question, what is a woman? There's now a big debate where British political leaders have been asked about whether a woman can have a penis, and they've given varying answers. The British Prime Minister says no. The Labour leader says 99% of women do not. And the Liberal Democrat leader, who he was referencing there, says clearly women can have penises. On the face of it, this might seem a strange debate to be having, but what are the answers? I mean, you're a presidential candidate.
Well, in the United States, I think we are obviously going through a cultural transformation. People are getting more comfortable with the notion of gender fluidity.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
For me, it's an issue of freedom. People get to be whoever they want to be, do whatever they want to do if it doesn't hurt anyone else. To me, we have to follow a North Star in our society. That North Star is the idea that all people are created equal. If you talk to me about a trans American, the part that matters to me is the word American. And so...
But what is a woman to you?
Listen, it's whatever at this point in somebody's culture, in American culture, certainly kind of whatever anyone says that it is.
Yeah, but it can't be.
It
can't be though.
Yes,
so
it absolutely can. If people
you
want
say
to
until it
identify
hurts
a certain
people,
way.
but if anyone can put their hand up and say they're a woman, we have a situation we had recently where the leader of the of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, of the Scottish National Party, she had to resign after putting a biological male rapist into a women's prison. So there is obviously damage there from self-identity, isn't there?
Yes, you stupid moronic idiot. Since she's in England, can I go ahead and use my scepter to dub her Simmer for all you across the pond? Would you mind if I did that right now? I do have the power vested in the authority in me to label people Simmer, which is my acronym, SIMR. I dub Marianne Williamson Simmer. Why? She's stupid, idiotic, moronic, and retarded. This Simmer is running as president, and all it is, just she's narcissistic. She just wants to get attention. She's never going to win. She's never even going to get close, but she thinks she can. That shows you. Now, I wonder, where's the competency of her mind versus Joe Biden's? Joe Biden has an excuse. He's 88 years old or 84, whatever the hell age he is. He's dementiated. He's incapacitated. He's going through Alzheimer's. He's in the delusion. I would like to ask Marianne, what is your excuse, honey? What is your excuse for deluding yourself into thinking that you actually could win? And then you go to England across the pond, and what do you say? It's perfectly fine for women. Oh, women, they have penises. They have things swinging between their legs. I'm not going to talk about that. Trans-American, the word I find about that, that's American. What an idiot. You're a freaking joke.
Well, certainly, but I think the issue there was rapists, not the issue of the sexual.
What is the fact
gender
she felt
orientation
that this male rapist who identified as a woman at his trial,
Yeah, that would be hard.
right, simply to get into a women's prison.
Yeah.
That's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but then
Yeah.
that's once
Yeah.
you're talking about something like rape, then obviously it becomes relevant. It's not
What
relevant.
about sport?
Well, on sports, I do think we need to protect girls who were born as girls. If they are in a situation where somebody, obviously because of the size of their muscles and of their body, gives them an
But that's all
unnecessary
biological
advantage.
males.
Well, yes, that's sort of my point.
So you would stop. Well, hang on, just to clarify.
That's sort of my point. You're a stupid, idiotic, moronic retard, Marianne Williamson. That's just my point. That girls got to be protected. From men, they're probably bigger and stronger and, have bigger muscles and bigger lung capacity, bigger hearts, bigger thighs, bigger everything. But we got to protect the girls. That's just my point. But in the meantime, men can be women and women can be men. What is it, Marianne? You're talking out of both sides of your ace.
By that, you would stop biological males competing against biological females.
Unless it can be proven, there are
Oh
some
my
situations
God.
where somebody, let's say they were born as a man, but they're a small man, right? And it can be proven through hormone testing, through muscle testing, and so forth, that there is no biological advantage. But the other day I spoke at Cambridge University, and I noticed when I went into the area where the bathrooms were, that it said, use whatever bathroom you're more comfortable with. And I thought, oh my God, it could be that easy. So I think everybody needs to lighten up on this issue.
It's hard to.
Yeah, they just need to lighten up on the issue, Mary. They just need to lighten up. I mean, comparing going to the bathroom, whipping it out into terms of urinal, whether it's on the floor or on a seat, that's just the same as a girl who wants to compete in girls' sports but can't because the boy that she's competing against says that she's a girl for the time being and is 4 times as large as she is. But that's okay with you. But you just went to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and wow, you were able to sit your ass down on a potty chair and do what you had to do, either number 1 or number 2.
Lighten up if you are, say, a female Olympic athlete and you're losing out on your place.
Well, that's
because a
what-
biological male who's 6'3" and built like an outhouse decides to take your slot
And I
by
think-
saying, hey, I'm a woman, which goes back to your initial thing that you should all be what you want to be. Well, sure, I want to be, I want to be a movie star, but I'm not. There's a reality check.
If you're talking about specific instances, such as sports, such as where somebody goes in prison, etc., then obviously these become issues that have to be deciding points. But there is another world out there, which it's not hurting anybody. It just has to do with somebody's desire to identify a certain way, the area where we need to culturally open our minds to the idea of fluidity in gender and so forth. And both can be true at the same time.
Well, I'm not sure it can. 'Cause I
No,
don't
it
think
can't
can
be. You have to be
limitless
retarded to
self-identity
think that way.
without it infringing particularly on women's rights to equality and fairness. That's the problem with it. And that's why it sounds great to say,
You don't give a damn about women's rights, Williamson. You're not a woman. You're a man disguised as a woman. That's what you are. That's what I'm going to say from now on. All you feminists that agree with transgenderism, all you women that think that trans women are women, you're not women. You're men. You're being misogynistic. That's it, baby. I just got it. I got it. We're going to call all you women that say transgender women, you're misogynistic and you're all men. How's that? What a
Of course you can. But then you end up with that ridiculous woman, Rachel Dolezal, who decided to identify as black. Well, if you have limitless self-identity, why can't you?
You know, I think that somehow we have to find that balance in ourselves as well as our
But
society.
how, as a lawmaker who wants to be the first female president of the United States, what's the balance? Because you either allow it or you don't.
No, I disagree with you. As president, I think my responsibility is to the notion of all people created equal. I, as president, quite the opposite of what you just said. As president, hey, I want the whole notion of my presidency would be, please be who you want to be, do what you want to do, spread your wings and soar. If you get to the point where you're infringing on the rights of other people, you're going to have a hard time with me.
How would you feel if a man a male politician decided to suddenly identify as female and became the first woman president of the United States?
I'd be like, damn, but that wouldn't mean...
You wouldn't just be damned, you'd be like, what?
I don't think...
You'd be horrified.
But that doesn't mean I think it would be illegal or that it's just...
I didn't say it'd be illegal. That's the whole point.
No.
The whole
Listen.
point, Madam Would-Be President, it's perfectly illegal.
Check and mate. Piers. You're talking to a retard. Oh my goodness, Piers. I thank you, Piers, for allowing her to be on your show. I really, really do. Because when this thing goes around the world, viral, they'll just know the idiocy of some people. This man, Marianne Williamson, because she's a man, because she doesn't give a damn about women's rights. Do whatever the heck you want during my presidency. Oh, that's a real good president right there. Everybody equal. It's a freaking free-for-all. Do whatever you want, whatever you feel like doing, whoever you feel like being, whoever you feel like doing. It's all feelings. That's all it's about.
Legal?
I think, well, that's my
It's
point.
just wrong.
I don't even think it's wrong. It's just I think we'd all down a few glasses of wine that night. We wouldn't be real happy about it. But
Usain Bolt wants to run as a woman in the Olympic 100 meters. You going to allow it?
no, I believe that this thing with sports, we must protect those who when you see these girls who were born as girls and they have worked so hard,
Right.
Obviously, and I think most people see that.
Quickly about reparations.
Yes.
So we've had lots of debates on this show about this whole issue. I have to admit, I come from a position, I don't see why people today should be compensated for sins against their ancestors, some cases centuries ago. Explain to me why I'm wrong.
Because it's not just about you. It's about the responsibility that you have as a citizen to the fate of your
Bullshit!
country. And whether you are an individual
That's
or
BS.
a nation, you're not going to have the future you want if you don't clean up the past.
So should I, okay, but on that then, should I be claiming money back as someone in Britain from the Italians for what the Romans did, from the Normans for what they did, from the Vikings?
Look at her. Look at her. She doesn't know how to answer that question,
should
folks.
I be claiming reparations?
She has no
If not,
idea.
what's the difference?
I'll tell you what the difference is. There is no way that a modern Brit is being economically disadvantaged by something that the Vikings
know?
did.
Well, how do you
I
know?
think it's been a long, long time.
I don't know. There might be people in the middle of Britain who are still suffering the appalling financial injury of what the Romans did to their families.
Let me answer your question. It is very obvious that there has been intergenerational hardship financially. The gap between blacks and whites that is so egregious in America today is a legacy not only of slavery, not only almost 250 years of slavery, but also of almost 100 years since then of institutionalized suppression of black people.
Oh my God.
Is 350
But at what point do we
years.
stop feeling guilty about the past?
After we've paid our debt.
Or paying for the past.
There's a difference
But
between...
Marianne, here's my point. It never stops. Once you uncork that bottle,
You need to
you
let me
end up
talk.
never stopping.
You need to let me talk. There's
No,
a
we don't need to
difference
let you
between
talk. The more you
blame
talk,
and
the stupider you
responsibility.
are.
I don't feel I need to feel guilty. My parents came from Russia and Poland, my grandparents. So it's not about my grandparents. It's not about my feeling guilty. It is about my feeling responsible for the well-being of my nation. Germany paid over $89 billion to Jewish organizations after World War II.
That's true.
And I think that financial remuneration has had a lot to do with not only the financial, but even more importantly, the psychological and emotional healing between Germany and the Jews of Europe. And this is a healing that we have not had. That war was over in 1945. Ours was over in 1865, and we still take this toxic baton and we pass it generation.
No, she
Make a good
doesn't.
point.
No, she
I need a
doesn't, Piers.
one-word
No,
answer
she
to this
doesn't.
question to wrap things, okay?
Oh my God,
Should
you were doing
Donald
so
Trump,
well.
if he gets convicted of a federal crime and actually goes to prison, the Constitution says he can still be president of the United States. Should he be allowed to be?
It's not about, the law is the law. Would it be disappointing? Would it be awful for the country?
It would be
yes, but if it's legal, it's legal.
Marianne, well, great to see you.
Thank you.
Best of luck with your campaign. Great to have you.
This absolute Looney Tunes. I mean, ibbity, 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 ibbity. That's all, folks. What a loon. Ah. I mean, there are lunatics and then there are lunatics. This is an unbelievable lunatic. The looniest of the loons. The looniest of the loons. Amazing, amazing, folks. How stupid and idiotic and moronic and retarded people can actually be. The lunacy of delusion. That's what this, and remember I said, she's not a feminist. She's not a woman because she doesn't care about women. So she must be a man. She must be misogynistic according to their own description of what misogynistic men are. They don't want women to succeed. They don't want women to be in any shape or form in high places. They don't want them to run for office. They don't want them to be in part of corporate America or corporate anywhere, because you're going to allow men to be women and women to be men, because everything in here is about feelings. Whatever they want to do during my presidency is fine. Oh, but then Usain Bolt, he can't run the Olympics. Why? Because, oh, you know what? Because he's taken the, oh, that's, you can't do that. There have to be, oh yeah, you can't send a man to a woman's jail cell because he just says he's a woman. But they did. Yeah, but what is it, Marianne? Which way do you want to stick your finger in your rectum and then pull it out and see which way the wind blows? George, which of the smells would you be going to? Just let us know. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you don't sign up to our show, I won't know, but I'll be upset. We hope you like our content. If you do, subscribe to the channel. You all know what to do. Like, share, and follow us. Check out our video links above and below. Put your comment down as well. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm completely off base here with my characterization of Marianne Williamson running for president on the Democratic side? Nobody's going to give her. Well, she'll get some votes from the lunatic fringe, of course. Anyways, until next time, folks. Oh, I almost forgot. When you're right, you're right. And I am right. And when you're left, you're like Marianne Williamson. You're just wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.